Okay, we're back. Bryce Simon, Jason Kidd made comments over the weekend to Mark Stein on a podcast saying that Derek Lively and Omax Prosper are very real candidates to start the year. I don't think he committed to anything. I think he would love it if they would both win the job, but made it clear that they are real candidates to be starters for Dallas in the preseason and certainly potentially moving forward into the first game. When you heard that Omax and Derek Lively were potential starters for the Dallas Mavericks, what was your immediate reaction?
I was surprised because I have gone through all 30 teams over at Draft Digest and written my NBA draft recaps. And in my article, I said, hey, the Mavericks have a roster where they can kind of bring these guys along slowly, right? They can kind of bring them off the bench and they don't have to put a lot of pressure on them. With that said, and I'm so sorry if you can, I swear if you can hear my kid crying in the background, he's just upset from a long day playing outside and he's getting a bath right now. So that's the crying. So
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
I apologize for that. I love Omax, Sam. Like he was one of my guys. I watched a ton of Omax Prosper last year. Can I make a quick pitch for why I think maybe it makes sense? Like, I don't even know that I believe this, but can I make a quick pitch?
Yeah, please. I love it.
So I think you're essentially putting these guys in a lineup where you're only asking them to do what they are theoretically built to do. With Kyrie, with Luka, you don't need either one to handle the ball. With Grant Williams, you're spacing the floor. Derek Lively, all he has to do is play finish around the rim and defend. Omax, all you have to do is run the floor really hard, offensive rebound, defend the other teams, maybe not even their best wing because Grant Williams may be able to do that, but be a really good defender. He chases guys off screens actually really, really well. Like if you're a nerd and you want to watch off ball screen navigation, go watch Omax Prosper. I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And just let them do that. And then, Sam, you have 8 or 9 guys that you can decide every night to be your second unit and just let them be as good as possible. So that is maybe not a pitch I believe in, but maybe makes sense.
So I think that, how do I want to go about this? I think the theoretical idea of Omax and Derek Lively and what they can be in the future makes all of the sense in the world for Dallas as a starter or as starters. And I loved their draft. I loved every single thing that they did.
I love their whole offseason.
Yep. They built defense around Kyrie and Luka, which is what you have to do if you're going to build around those two moving forward. I find it hard to believe that particularly Lively, I will say, will be ready to be an NBA caliber starting center from day one.
That's right.
And I love Derek Lively. I thought he was the best defensive player in college basketball by the time February and March rolled around last year. I just think it's going to be a minute for him. Last year, it was a minute. It took him until really January, I would say, like late January, to reach the point where he became a lottery pick or a potential lottery style talent. Omax, I think, has a better case for it. It really depends on a very simple question. Do you think Omax can guard point of attack ball handlers and like can really be a strong, high level defensive presence on perimeter initiators from day one? Because that's what you need him to be for him to be a starter. So you can take the pressure off of Kyrie and Luka and have a little bit more like versatility in terms of lineups and rosters.
So that's the caveat. That's where as much as I love Omax and and Omax is an incredible young man on top of everything else.
Awesome human being. Unbelievable human being.
Unbelievable human being.
One of the most like impressive, emotionally mature, like young 20s kids I've met, point blank.
Yeah. I've had the opportunity to speak with him and blew me away with the conversation I was able to have.
Yes.
I don't think that's what he does best. I don't think that that's setting him up for success. And I don't think that that's the role he's best used as, is like, hey, go guard Steph Curry tonight, or even SGA. I don't think those are the matchups I see for Omax. And so
Mhm.
to answer your question is no. The other thing about Lively, Sam, he only played 20 minutes a game last year in college. Now you're making the jump to the NBA and the physicality and all of that. Like, how many minutes is he gonna be able to play on top of it? Now, you can still start him and only play him 24 minutes a night if you really needed to, but that's another interesting thing. So, again, I wanted to have some fun and make the argument. I'm not sure I believed everything I said. I believe it long. So that's the other thing I looked up. Just if you look at the contracts on the roster in 25-26 are all these 5 guys: Hardy, Kleba, and Powell. And then 4 of the 5 are in the. So it's like 2 years from now, this makes a lot of sense. I think it would
Mhm.
be kind of cool if they started building it now, but you're also in win this year mode with Luka and Kyrie, especially after what happened last year.
Yeah, so here's the thing that's interesting to me about this, at least. I think that Omax is great running off of screens with like against guys like JJ Redick or somebody. Jordan Hawkins is
Go
the
watch
tape
the
that,
UConn. Go watch the UConn film. Like, guys,
yeah,
go watch the UConn film.
stands out to me. He's fucking phenomenal at it. He's great
Incredible.
at it.
Yep.
He's also good against bigger wings
Yes.
defensively and can
Yes.
manage those guys well. I think Josh Green does a better job on point of attack players than what he does. Josh is much smaller than Omax, though. So if it's a bigger wing, Josh definitely makes sense. And Josh is going to be drastically better than Omax is on offense to start the year. For the whole year, let's say. Omax has some upside offensively, and I don't want to
Sure.
minimize that.
Yeah.
But Josh Green is in his 4th year in the NBA. He really came on by the end of the year last year. On top of it, I love the synergy of him and Kyrie together, of what I think could be a really interesting change of pace for the Luka lineups, where Luka likes to play more slow, deliberate style of play, obviously, as everybody knows. Kyrie likes to push tempo, and Josh Green is a great running partner for Kyrie. So almost what I would do if I was Dallas in this circumstance, I would start Josh Green and Kyrie. I'd take them out after like 4 or 5 minutes or so, and then bring them back to run the second unit at like the 10-minute mark, 10 minutes into the game with 2 minutes left in the first quarter, when you take Luka out, and let Kyrie come in to run the second unit, because you're obviously going to stagger Kyrie and Luka as much
Yeah.
as you
Yeah.
can. And then just run Josh and Kyrie together as like your second unit. Like, we're going up and down the court, we're sprinting, we're trying to create in transition, we're changing we're trying to dictate the tempo of the game in a different way for that 7-minute stretch or whatever. And on top of it, we think we can really take advantage of those. So we want to up the possession totals when Kyrie is on the court, because he is so good. And a big marginal advantage for us as an organization, if I was Dallas, is being able to have one of Kyrie or Luka on the court at all times, which means my bench units should be amazing.
They're going to be better anyway. You don't have to keep the. I want to put Omax and Lively with that run. Then I want to put Omax and Lively with what you're just talking about there, because
Great.
if Kyrie wants to run the floor, put Lively running the nail and let
Love it.
Omax run. And I mean, Omax may beat everybody down the floor. He may get down the floor before Lively anyway. Like, let those guys, and then give them a shooter, someone that can knock down shots with them. Put Seth Curry out there with them or whatever, and let him space. That's a lot of
Mhm.
fun. That's a league pass every night type of team. Now, that backcourt doesn't guard extremely well, but the guys around them, Sam, theoretically can make up for it with Omax, Green, and Lively protecting the rim. I
And
like.
then the question is, like, who do you bring in when you take Kyrie and Josh Green off? It's, you can bring in Tim Hardaway and
Yep.
Maxey. You can bring in, you can do a lot of different things. You can bring in Tim Hardaway and Dante Exum. Like, you can do a number of different things. They're pretty deep, and they have like a lot of really, really interesting chess pieces, maybe is the way to put it. But Dallas is a really fun team. Like somebody in the comments just asked, like, are y'all really talking about Dallas as rookies? I think it's an awesome conversation. I think Dallas is going to be like one of the most intriguing, exciting teams in the league. And the coach just said he's planning on starting rookies.
And for the record, I really like Jaden Hardy. I think Jaden Hardy
I do too.
really
That's the
good.
other piece of this too. Yeah.
I know you've had this discussion, Sam. Listen, I'm not the Ignite's going to be fascinating this year. Watched another one of their games today because they're overplaying in the Intercontinental, whatever. And so I was, Matas didn't play, but the other guys did. But I don't know how hard he fell was where I was trying to get to with that. I don't know how he fell. I wanted the Pistons to take him in the second round. They had a chance. They didn't. The dude is a good player. I watched those Ignite games that year and I was like, I'm not seeing, like, he's not a perfect prospect, but I'm not seeing all the issues of why this kid falls all the way into the second round.
I had him as a top 20 guy. I felt that way. I thought that he should have been taken there. Do you know what Jaden Hardy did last season in 11 games in the G League, Bryce? Have you gone back and watched that tape yet?
I haven't, no.
Jaden Hardy in 11 games averaged 28.8 points per game on 55, 49, 86 shooting. He was like unstoppable in the G League last year. And he was good in the NBA minutes too. Like, I don't want to, reduce that. Like, he averaged like 9 points a game and shot 44, 40, 82. For a rookie, that's like great numbers. Like, I think Hardy is really, really talented and has a shot to be like the perfect sixth man behind Kyrie and Luka. And oh, by the way, like another guy that is willing to push tempo and play with Kyrie as well. I love what they've done. Like, I love everything they did this offseason. And I think that the Mavericks are in a really positive position now, as long as they get the center production that they need. The name that I've seen pop up occasionally is Clint Capella, right? Like, Clint Capella would make a lot of sense for them, I think, at center.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, but I also really like the idea of them keeping Maxey, which means that it's hard to do you could do like a Rashawn Holmes or no, it'd have to be probably Tim Hardaway, I guess, because I don't know if you can combine Rashawn with people right now. But if you could do like a Clint Capella, there's less synergy, I think, between Clint Capella and the Dallas Mavericks. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, no, I think they had a fun offseason. I'm with you. I thought they had a great draft. I mean, they moved back. I don't know if somebody was mocked more to player team. Was there a player team mocked more than those two, than Lively and the Mavericks? I don't think so. And then they moved back and still got him. And then they used that to get another draft pick, which turned into Omax. And so I thought they navigated the draft really well. I think Grant Williams he's a very good player. Maybe I'm proven to be wrong on that. And they seem to have an extremely deep team that helps you win games in the regular season. And I mean, at the end of the day, it comes down to the two dudes being dudes, right? Like those two. Luka has to take defense serious. Kyrie has to be as about basketball as Kyrie can be about basketball. But it's a deep West, but I think they're a team that has a real chance if things come together the right way.
Yeah, and the other piece of this just to loop the Clint Capella thing. Yeah, you could do Tim Hardaway Jr. for Clint Capella straight up. I'm not totally sure why Atlanta would do that, frankly, unless they are just like purely in cost cutting mode, because that would save them like $3 million to do that. But yeah, to me, I would rather do something like, I would love to find a way to do Clint Capella to Dallas is maybe the way to put it. It'd probably have to be a 3-team deal where like a backup center goes to Atlanta and they get to start a Kongwu and everything like that. And probably has to be a center with like real size, but regardless, the Mavericks are a fascinating spot and I'm interested to see what they do. The other thing is that like, you don't have to make this decision. Like you can mix and match based on the team in front of you.
Yep.
And that's, I think, what is most important about what Dallas did this offseason is they got options based on what is in front of you. You can throw, If you need a bigger wing, you can throw Omax out there. If you need somebody that can stop point of attack, you can throw Josh out there. If you need, more scoring, you can throw Jaden Hardy out there. If you need a bigger lineup, you can go like Maxey, Grant Williams, and a center. Or you can go smaller and you go Maxey at the 5 with Grant Williams guarding centers, right? The lineup flexibility and versatility that Dallas got this season is what I think has been most impressive about their offseason. And now it's on Jason Kidd. And I have as many questions about Jason Kidd as a coach as I think everybody else does. It's up to him to mix and match and push the right buttons at the right time.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to talk about lineup versatility as fan bases. And then you realize you have to trust your coach to figure that out every single night. And some coaches are really good at it. And as quote unquote easy as it seems to be, not all of them get it. All coaches, every coach has strengths and weaknesses. Some are more drastic. And, it'll be a year. We'll find out how good is Jason Kidd at putting the right lineups on the floor at the right times against the right teams in the regular season, Sam, but then especially come playoff team. Can he find the right keys to unlock the matchups when they're in a 7-game series against the Los Angeles Lakers or the Golden State Warriors? Or if they go deep in the playoffs, can he adjust that every round? Because I think that's what's fun, Sam, is watching coaches make those tough decisions on, okay, so-and-so just played great last series, but now we have to set him down because the matchup dictates that we put this guy on the floor. So he has the pieces now. That's all you can ask for as an organization. And now he has to put them in the right spots.